Hi friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Yesterday I received a surprise in the mail, something that I hadn't ordered, somebody ordered for me, and today I just had to play with it. So if you want to see this eyeshadow look in action, don't go anywhere. Yesterday there was an unexpected delivery to my front door. I heard the doorbell ring and there was a DHL driver outside, and I wasn't expecting any packages, but you know, sometimes my husband orders things. They don't usually require signatures though, so I went to the door box and it's from Cosmic Brushes and it's got my name on it, and I was thinking, what is this? Racking my brain, trying to recall if I had ordered something without remembering. I was so confused. And I took the box. I'm like, what else could it be? It's something from Cosmic Brushes. So I take it into the kitchen and I open it up and I'm like, what? Unwrap it. Like, how did this get here? This is what was in the box. The beautiful Winter Wonderland palette from their, winter release last year. And then the Frosting Highlighter palettes from the Delicious Delights release. I was shocked. And I was really confused. I hopped on Instagram because I have 3 people. They're all subscribers, but then I talk with them regularly on Instagram, like almost daily. And I thought, well, maybe one of them knows something. So I hop on Instagram about to ask all of them, do you know anything about this? And one of them she had sent me 2 messages throughout the day, which I hadn't seen yet. One of them asked me if I was usually home during the afternoon, and the other asked me if deliveries were sent to my front door or if they went to the management office. So her questions gave her away. And I was just, I'm so grateful for the friends that the Lord has given me, because, you know, guys, this is just an eyeshadow palette. It's just an eyeshadow palette, but it's fun to have a hobby, and it's rewarding and beautiful to share that hobby with other people. I just feel so loved and I feel blessed. And I know that I've said before that I'm a gift giver, but I don't usually receive gifts. It's not my husband's love language. He struggles with that. It's just not the way that he communicates. And birthdays and Christmas, I usually have to buy my own gifts, sort of thing. I just don't usually receive things. And I was feeling so blessed and so loved, because for someone whose love language is gift giving, it's not about the actual thing. The gifts are fun and they're nice and they're, you know, it's exciting. But it's about being thought of. I don't ask my husband to go buy me diamonds and spend lots of money. I ask him to get me a Snickers bar when he's filling up the car with gas. It's that sort of thing. It's not about the actual item or the money spent. It's about being remembered and somebody thinking of me throughout the day. So that's what this represents to me. I'm so excited because it's a really beautiful eyeshadow palette, and the Cosmic Brushes formula is great. I love my Serenity and my Muse palettes. I'm so touched. So I know she's watching, and I'm not going to call her out because people like privacy, and I'm just so thankful to her for loving me and for being my friend and for giving me this lovely gift. She said that she wanted to kind of ease the transition as we are moving to a new house. I feel very loved. And I'm also really excited to play with the beautiful palette. It's so pretty. I've talked about it, watched lots of videos on it, because I do love blue and purple. Blue and purple are one of my favorite color combinations, like yellow and green, you know? I remember buying the Midnight palette from Beauty Bay, and I've got the Lure palette from Blend Bunny. I just love blue and purple together. So I think the palette's gonna be absolutely a delight. I remember comparing it once to the Element 115 palette from Adept, and I said that the only thing that I think could improve Wonderland is to, like the Adept palette, have some peachy or orangey tones, just 1 or 2. But this is absolutely gorgeous. And this one here, the Winter Solstice, is a multi-chrome, so in the camera you might see like a light blue whitish sort of color, but I'm looking at it right now and I see green, and then I shift it and I see gold and pink. So it's super pretty, super pretty. I'm gonna peel the thing off my mirror. And then of course there's the Frosting Highlighter palette, which is also beautiful. So we've got a green, a pink, and a blue purple. Maybe you can see. Can you see the shifts? I hope you can see the shifts. It's lovely. It's lovely. She said that it was on, I think she said it was on sale or something when she picked up Wonderland. Let's get going. I'm gonna start with the shade Peaceful. My shirt today is very un-blue purple, but it does have these little bits of like a soft verdigris kind of color, which by the way is my favorite color, I think. My favorite color, overall blanket color, would be green, but in my home decor, I have the verdigris shade everywhere. And I would say it's unintentional in that it's not like I bought all of the things at the same time. I have multiple different pieces of art that are that color. I have like pottery, and at one point, not anymore, but I used to have like a bathroom soap and toothbrush holder kind of set that was the verdigris color. There's absolutely no kick up in the pan with that color. Let's pick up Magical. Tiny bit of kick up in the pan. Nothing on the face yet. Here's Magical. I remember saying to my friend, actually the one who bought this palette for me, telling her after I had used the Allure palette recently that at some point I might get Winter Wonderland to replace Lure. I remember it was this beautiful reel I had seen on Instagram showing most of the mattes in this palette with the Winter Solstice shade swatched over them, because this is such a transformative shade. It really changes the color of whatever you put it on and kind of gets all fiery and beautiful with the undertone of the matte. I'd seen that in a reel and I was just smitten. So I sent the reel to my 3 eyeshadow buddies over on Instagram, and I had said, oh, maybe at some point it'll replace the Lure palette. A different woman responded that she was really surprised, and she was even surprised when in my previous, like, would I buy it again video, I said that I probably would not buy the Lure palette again. You know, it's not that I dislike the Lure palette. I think it's beautiful. I really enjoy the formula and the color story as well. And the Lure palette does have like a bit of a neutral side, and there's one that I think leans more orangey, just a tiny bit, and has the pinky tones as well. So it's not that I dislike it at all. It performs beautifully. I've never had any problems with it, honestly. I like the packaging. I like everything. It's great. I have learned over time that the gradient format of a palette does not inspire me. Rather, it's the reverse. I feel that my creative energy is pulled away when there's a gradient, because everything's so neat and orderly. It doesn't challenge me. It doesn't make me see odd colors together and wonder what they would look like on the eyes or how I could pair them together. It's just something I've learned. Look at this. Oh, this is just magical right here. It's just something I've learned over time that I don't care for a gradient. And 2 of my 3 Blend Bunny palettes are the gradient format. I've got Surge and I've got Lure. My favorite from the brand is Sickly Sweet, which is just as, like, the quality is just as good. The shimmers might be a little bit better, but it's not a gradient, and that is what makes me inspired to try different things. Now I'm taking that Winter Solstice shade. I just have to try it everywhere. I'm going to put it on a flat brush, and then I will spray the brush. Again, absolutely no fallout in this pan. I want to give this a lot of real estate because it's multi-chromatic. So I'm just going to put it all over the lid. Ooh, look how fiery it is. In my lighting right now, I see a lot of gold pink. And then I move a little bit and I see the blue. That's pretty. That's pretty. So I probably wouldn't repurchase the Allure palette because even though it's an amazing formula and I like the packaging, it's not a layout, we'll say a layout, because I think it is a color story which excites and inspires me when I see that color story in other palettes like Winter Wonderland, like Aurora Struck from ColourPop. That blue, purple, teal, gray, pinky sorts of color story, I love it. It's absolutely stunning. So it has to be the layout, because I feel kind of the same way about my Surge palette, that it just doesn't inspire me. However, when I look at the Allure palette, you know what, let's do it. Oh, can you guys see the shift on camera? So pretty. I do want to get a darker purple to, do I want to? Yeah, why not? Why not? I'm gonna take this one, Breathe. Just a little bit of Breathe. Put that here. Looking at the Allure palette, especially now that I have this one in hand, I kind of think I would not replace it, like use this to replace Allure, at least not right now, because the Allure palette does have a couple of those other colors. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic complement to this palette, especially for, I'm thinking more the pink tones, because this palette doesn't have pinks. And I love the neutrals in that palette as well. They're more like a soft mauve gray leaning column of neutrals, which works well on my skin tone, and it has that amazing pearl shade as well. So I think it's going to be a beautiful complement to this, but at this point, it might simply come down to how much I use Lure now that I've got this. Let's do the lower lash line now. I'm going to do an inner corner highlight first of the color Crisp. Put that right here. There are actually several colors in this palette which would be great inner corner highlights because they're light enough, whether it's shimmer or matte. There are 2 mattes I could easily use, no, 3 actually, and then there are a couple really bright shimmers. Now I'm going to take a smaller and tighter brush. This is the smallest, most detailed blending brush I have. I want to do 2 shimmers on the lower lash line. I want to do first the blue, light blue shimmer here called Frost. I'm going to load up the brush as much as I can and then I'll spray it. Again, absolutely no fallout in the pan. Today is not my daughter's birthday, my oldest, but her birthday was about 2 weeks ago, and we are celebrating today with a friend of hers. I'm going to pick that girl up around lunchtime. We're going to go ice skating. Well, they're going to go ice skating. I'm going to sit on the sidelines with 2 babies. They're going to go ice skating. Maybe I should bring some books and games for the little ones. But they're going to go ice skating, and then look, oh my goodness, look at this color. Oh, so beautiful. Now I'm going to pick up Comfort with the same brush, same thing. We're also going to go out for bubble tea because bubble tea is fun and delicious. I asked my daughter if she wanted bubble tea or cupcakes or if she wanted to go to a fancy chocolate shop that's nearby. And she wanted bubble tea, so we're going to do that too. And probably have like a, I'd say go out for dinner, but I mean like Panera or Chick-fil-A or something. Not like a full-on restaurant, but something that's kind of in the middle of eating at home because I don't have many options here at home right now. And again, it's to celebrate her birthday with her friend, so a little bit of money spending is okay. Anyway, it seems quite appropriate to be using this palette when I'm going to an ice skating rink. I think that's the look. I'm going to find a bright blue or light blue to put my waterline because that's going to pop, and also white would be beautiful as well, but I think I'm going to go light blue. I'll be right back and finish off the look. Okay, now it's time to play with the frosting highlighter palettes. I've done everything else on my face. I'll talk about all of that in a minute, but my children are starting to stir and I want to put on this beautiful highlighter. This one leans green, this one leans pink, and this one leans blue purple. So I'm going to go with the blue purple. It's called Blueberry Muffin. The highlighters I'm used to, I'm going to try to turn so that you guys can see, have it catch some of the light. Highlighters I'm used to are the BH Cosmetics Rose palette or the Nomad Cosmetics. Oh, and I also have the Aurora Glow Kit from Anastasia Beverly Hills. And this reminds me, actually, as far as formula goes, it's very similar to all of them. I think that maybe there's a bit more texture with the Rose palette, and maybe a BH might be a little bit dustier, but on the whole, like the final finish and the way that it's shifty and catches the light beautifully, but it's not hyper glowy or glittery. The ones I have, I really like, and this one is so beautiful too. It just lines up perfectly with what I've already got. And it's lovely. Okay, let's talk about what I did to finish. As I planned, I did put a light blue in my waterline. This is Icebreaker from ColourPop. Again, white would have been purple. Well, white would have been purple. White would have been beautiful. Purple also would have been beautiful. A light pink would have been really pretty and brought in a new color, but I went with light blue. And then I have mascara on, and that's it for my eyes. I didn't do a liner or anything because I think I'm running out of time with the kids waking up soon. Okay, and then my lips, I have 2 products also from ColourPop. This is the Glowing Lip, what's the color? Tickled Pink, and then the lip oil in Paper Pansy. And I think that's everything. I just talked about the highlighter. I think that's everything. So I think the look is absolutely gorgeous. I think it's so beautiful. The multi-chrome, the Winter Solstice shade, which is on my whole lid, that shade reminds me of Udenzai. I think like 2 or 3 different Udenzai colors that I have that are very, they are their base color, but then they lean kind of a fiery peach sort of color. And I think it's beautiful. I think it's absolutely beautiful because it's light toned, it's interesting. You can have the color looking more cool depending what you pair it with, or it can go quite warm. You know, if I were to pair this Winter Solstice shade with reds and oranges, my lid would be on fire, I think. And I don't think that you'd see as much of the blues and the pinky purple colors as you would see the more pink gold side of things. It's so much fun. I think the look is amazing. Everything performed perfectly. Like, I had no issues at all with performance. I'll have to do a wear test and see how it does with creasing, because I've had creasing with the Serenity palette, but not the Muse palette. I'm not sure if it's just like a color thing. So I'm curious to see if this one will crease, but creasing is always helped by, for me, by putting on either a glitter glue or making sure that I emphasize the primer in the area right here, this area, where it tends to crease. This eye's a little bit deeper set. Anyway, the palette performed beautifully. I had almost no kick up in the pans at all. Never once did I go and blow away some dust from a pan. That didn't happen. And then there's no fallout at all on my face. The performance was beautiful, exactly what I've experienced with the other Cosmic Beauty palettes. And I'm just so stinking excited to have it, because it really is an absolutely stunning palette. I can't wait to play more with the other colors in there, and the, you know, play more with the blues and dive into the blue shimmers and play with the purples and periwinkles, and it's beautiful. I would love to hear your thoughts on the palette, of course. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the look. Thank you so much, so much to my subscriber, my friend who sent this to me. You are absolutely the sweetest, and I'm very grateful to you. I think the palette is beautiful. I can't wait to play with it more. Thank you so much. And thank you everybody else for being here, for giving me a part of your day, for giving me some of your time. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I would love to hear your thoughts, of course, in the comments below. Do consider liking and subscribing if you haven't done so before and you want to see more content like this, because I do upload multiple videos every week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.